Very exciting times.
Woo! My goodness, here we are. We are
You're,
here.
am I
You know,
live? Am I sharing my screen? I don't even know.
I
All right.
think the meeting is adjourned here. Not really adjourned, but here we start. Hey,
What happened?
yeah, I have people come up to me and say, "You're not going to hypnotize me." And I said, "Well, if you don't want me to, I'm not." And they go, "That's so evil. I mean, what are you do? Why are you doing this evilness?" And the point is, we're in hypnosis all the time, right? I mean, basically, when we watch a movie, we're focused attention, and we get totally involved in that story. We might be screaming at the television, or crying, or even laughing, but all those people are actors, you know, in front of us. And but we've got stuck in the story, and that's a form of hypnosis, storytelling. Then the other is, we drive home every day, and sometimes when we drive home, we don't even remember how we got home. That's highway hypnosis. And then we say a word like, "Oh, I can't find my keys," and this is exactly. My girlfriend was here the other day and she said she couldn't find her keys. And she couldn't just because she said she couldn't. And then she walked for like 2 or 3 hours. And then, you just look down and they're right there. And she says, "No, I looked there." I said, "They're right there." Oh, so because she had a negative hallucination because she said she couldn't. That's why it's really, really important to not be going and saying, "I can't do this, I can't do that." Because when you tell yourself you can't do it, your unconscious it says, "Okay, you don't want to do it. Fine." Uh, what there's remember there's positive hallucination and negative hallucination. So positive hallucination, like on a stage show, they say, "Oh, your shoe's a bunny," and you pet the shoe. That's a positive hallucination. You're changing something and believing something else. And then what another form of hypnosis? Um, even a daydream is a form of hypnosis. So anyway, the evil. Let's go back to the evil.
Voodoo.
Voodoo. You know, uh, maybe some Christians go, "Oh, it's voodoo, demons, it's all this," but there's no mention of hypnosis in the Bible. So that came way later. The name. Okay, so where are they getting this? Where do you think that the evilness is coming from?
Basically, I've run into people and they're like, "Oh, you're not going to hypnotize me, or you're not going to take control over me." And somebody who says something like that doesn't, that's like, again, I think in this channel we've talked a lot about, the critical factor, right? So they've got their, like, just imagine anytime you run into somebody that doesn't know who you are, they're like their brain is like pre-wired to figure out if you're like dangerous to them or not, right?
Right.
So I guess the easiest way to walk into any situation is like with your guards up, and that's something that you know people that go to interact with other people don't realize, that they're like their guards up until they know you, until they trust you, until you've proven that you're worth something. So when somebody says something like hypnosis, well, oh, this guy, maybe they went to a hypnosis show or theater, or maybe they watched some sort of movie, like, and
Oh
they
my
didn't.
gosh, there's a lot of those movies out
Yeah,
there.
there's these movies or stage hypnotist show, and they're not able to connect all the dots. All they see is like something that's made up, right? So, oh, you're going to make me do something that I don't want to do, and I won't allow it, right? So, because they saw it in a movie, right? Like, and not realizing whatever happens in movies, or maybe like some weird like case, or maybe they've gone down some sort of conspiracy theory path or something, and they have all these beliefs that like could be holding them back. So, and it's not like somebody, like, again, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, right? So if you take that into consideration, I mean, nobody's going to make you do anything that you don't want to do. It's just maybe you're using that as an excuse to be able to do things that you wouldn't do regularly. And that's basically what a stage hypnosis show is. Oh, that guy was up on stage clucking like a chicken, and maybe they've always wanted to do that, but since they have the stage in the theater and somebody telling them what to do, they could just blame shift it onto somebody else and be like, "It wasn't me. I was under hypnosis," which nobody would do anything unless they agreed to do whatever the suggestion was to begin with. So back to the voodoo thing, like who's going to manipulate you or control you, or maybe they've run into somebody who's just generally freaking evil, and they said that they were hypnotized to do something stupid, and you believed it, or believed that it was against their will, or that they didn't do it consciously or something like that. No, your subconscious is like a magnitude of whatever your conscious mind is, right? So if your conscious mind is, going around the world only doing 7 bits of information plus or minus two, right? And then when you go into hypnosis, you're able to come up with, newer tools or better ways to do things. So again, hypnosis is an evil. In fact, it's all depending on the scope that you're looking at. Like it depends on what your North Star is or what the goal is or what you're looking to accomplish, right? So maybe somebody who is on stage collecting like a chicken has stage fright. And then now they're able to get over that because, they had this experience. And now anytime moving forward, they don't need a stage hypnotist, or they can just bring back that experience in their mind and then be able to deliver a presentation on stage or get in front of a camera and be on a YouTube channel or whatever the case may be, get them over whatever that little bit of confidence that they need to get to that next step. So is it voodoo? If, it can be if you want it to be, right? Your mind is a playground, right? Again, I've said on this channel 100 times, if not any, right? So anything that we talk about as far as like mental or hypnosis or voodoo or whatever, these are just words that make up something that's not real, right? And we're just kind of explaining something that's fugazi, fugazi, whatever, right? It's not real. We're just kind of like making these words up. We're creating a box, and it's up to you to, distinguish whether or not that is a box or not, or if that works for you, or whatever is going to happen. So people go to hypnotherapists because they're looking to, like, their subconscious could be telling them, hey, look, you got to stop smoking. Like, hey, what are you doing? Like, oh, I can't get over it. Well, maybe if you see this guy, he's got a magic wand, you'll just stop, right? Maybe they need that extra push or confidence. And that's another thing too, when you're taking these, certification classes, is that you already talk to the person as if the said act has already been done, right? Like, oh, you're a smoker? No, you put one out like, 10 minutes ago or whatever it was. So you're a non-smoker until the next time you light up, right? So again, that would be another enhancer for somebody to stay as a non-smoker. Or again, if you wanted to use the whole stage presence, right? Maybe you could voodoo hypnotize. There's this guy on TikTok or whatever that I follow. It's called Mandatory Fun Day or something like that. But he's like a military guy. He talks about the military a lot. It has me laughing a ton. But he's also into psychology. And one of his shirts says, "Gaslight yourself into happiness." Which I couldn't stand the term gaslighting, but if you reframe it like that, I mean, I guess so, right? Like, we've talked about gaslighting, I don't know how many times, is where, well, I guess that would be a form of hypnosis if you started to believe things that weren't true or didn't happen, or question your sanity because somebody keeps repeating the same thing over and over and over again to you, even though it's something that wasn't aligned or didn't happen. Oh, you remember when you laughed at that joke, and then you didn't laugh at that joke, you know what he's talking about. But if the guy says it to you enough times, then you'll start to question yourself. You'll be like, well, did I laugh at that joke? Was I even there? Was that joke, and you could you could see how that would become voodoo. That would be someone beating you down enough times to gaslight, manipulate you into something that you didn't believe was true, or question yourself whether it was true or not. And then now, if that person starts to build up that power over you, then what else could they slip in under your suggestion, since you've already agreed to one thing that didn't happen to begin with? Then you start acting like me and record every freaking thing that you do, because somebody else will come back to you and be like, oh, I didn't realize that happened. So I had something recently happen to me where somebody called and they were like, hey, I need a DJ for X day. Well, how much is that going to run me? I'm like, oh, it's going to run you $600. Okay, well, can they do this kind of wedding? I go, yep, they can do this kind of wedding. And then he hangs up, and then, I write it all down, everything that was in the conversation. I don't worry too much about recording it because everybody who calls me, it's recorded. So come to the day, which was a couple weeks ago. Oh, here's $500. Well, here's a recording that says we agreed on 600. Well, that was something different. No, no, here's the whole freaking recording. Like, you can go back and listen to it if you want. Oh, I said this. Clearly you didn't. So, is it voodoo? Maybe the people that are using it as voodoo don't even realize they're doing it, or they've done it so much in the freaking past that it's just nature, right? But if you have everything recorded, then you can't be manipulated. Or maybe that is a type of hypnosis, right? And they don't even know they're doing it or considering it hypnosis, or creating some sort of mental box for you to hop into. And then you don't have to accept the frame if somebody talks to you a certain way. And that's another thing we teach inside the group, right? Is frame control, or sleight of mouth, or understanding how to shift beliefs, or basically if something's positioned a certain way, you could pivot to to a different way. So what language that was used with me was like, oh, I don't mind negotiating with you, or whatever the freaking word was, but it was a word that like made it look like he was doing me a favor. And then I was like, no, you ain't doing me no freaking favors. This is what we have in recording. So hypnosis, is it voodoo? No, you can use it however you want, as long as you understand what the desired outcome is. So if you're like, oh, I want to be on stage and I want to be able to give a good presentation, well, everything that you do pivots around you giving a good presentation. Case in point, I had a wedding Monday, 2 days ago. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, Monday. So the girl comes up to me and says, "Oh, I'm never nervous." Well, we all know from frickin' the recordings in this freaking group is that the word negation, never, never, never nervous, right? Like the mind doesn't understand never, but it does understand nervous. And then, bless this girl's soul, it was the worst performance I've ever seen in my life. But before she had given that performance, she was talking about nervous and being she was talking about being nervous, and I'm like, oh, I'm never nervous, I just have a little jitters before I start, and then after I feel much better. And then my response probably wasn't the greatest at the time, but what came to my mind was that people that are professionals and have done it 1,000 times don't really get nervous, because they know how to react if anything does go wrong already in the moment, and then they're just mostly the most prepared. And then she nodded her head and pretty much probably understood that she wasn't prepared, and then walked away. And then when she was up there, it wasn't good. I'm glad it wasn't recorded. But again,
I'm a
you,
little confused. Was it who was it? Was it entertainer or was it
officiant. So efficient. I don't know, but maybe you could hypnotize yourself into getting better. Recording it, looking at it. Like I literally told the girl that she had a lapel microphone on, and this microphone is going to catch the bride and groom when they're talking to each other, because of the way the microphone is, right? Like I was explaining that to her 3 times, and then I was like, well, if that's not loud enough, we have this microphone, so if you wanted to do this, we could hear their vows, right? Like I'm leaving it up to you, but if you just lean in, it'll pick them up 3 times. Like I understand in psychology, explain things at least 3 times in 3 different ways, so that hopefully it'll be absorbed. She was so worried about being in a picture. Every time that those two would talk to each other, she would back up 6 feet and hide underneath the bridesmaids or whatever. And I was like, what in the hell are you doing? Like what like that's not what I explained at all. And then I was like, here's a handheld, put it over there. So she thought I was saying talking to the handheld and her lapel microphone. GTFO. But she did say in the beginning she wasn't nervous and done hundreds of these.
yeah,
Maybe she needs hypnosis.
that's voodoo, buddy.
It's voodoo. Anyway, that was Monday.
I think you can like there's
I
a
know I
few
kind of went
things.
around the whole Mary Ben on that
Yeah,
one, but
that's all right. That's all right. There we, you know,
all two
you can
people that
talk
watch this.
yourself into, yeah, I mean, like you said, negation, when she said, I'm not nervous, the unconscious might have picked up that I'm nervous, you know.
And my response was, "You're probably not prepared."
Oh no.
Well, it wasn't. You're probably not prepared. It was like the people that don't get nervous are the ones that are most prepared. Is
Yeah,
what I said.
that's a good thing. And the two ways I'd say to my entertainers and myself, a lot of times I'm not at all nervous at all, but sometimes I'm edgy. even though I've done over 10,000 events. If I when I got all my props and everything set up, I know what's going to happen. But sometimes, the night before, if I didn't prepare, but usually I really over prepare. And or if it's a crowd that I've never done, or well, they're all crowds I've never done, but what I'm saying is a different type. So I was a little nervous when I did that 45-year-old or 48-year-old birthday party at a bar. It's like and it went all right, and they loved it, but it was hard for me. It was one of those harder ones because I didn't know what to expect. I couldn't get my props. It was a small bar, all these things. And I think it's okay to get a little bit, nervous because if you didn't have any nerves before, you wouldn't prepare as much a lot of times. So, but let's go back to voodoo. I think like a lot of people do get that hypnosis wrong. That if you go to a hypnotist, they're going to make you do things that you don't want to do, but it's not really true. Especially if you go to a reputable hypnotist who's got a website and lots of good reviews and everything. And I would I don't know where they're getting that voodoo though. That's even with tarot cards. When they pull out a tarot card, that's voodoo or anything. Well, I think
Actually, I just picked the word voodoo because it was a buzzword to see who'd click and at least
okay,
engage, or if somebody wanted to,
okay,
come in here and tell me how much they know, like
okay.
nobody's watching these things anyway. I'm just gonna
I
start. I'm gonna start like how like you could get like a lighter and then like fart and watch it explode. I'm see if I can do that and see if I get some
We're
more
going
views.
down a hill. We're going down a hill. Get back
I'm
up here, Scott. Hey,
like,
we're not going there today. We're
well,
not
look at
going
me.
there.
I just set my ass on fire. You think I get a few more
No,
views? Like,
no, 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 no. Uh, Back to hypnosis.
yeah.
I'm getting hypnotized with what you're saying. It's like, uh, yeah. What the benefits are for hypnosis is basically we can help people who are wanting to get something done get over that edge. The more they want it, because like you said, it's self hypnosis anyway, pretty much, and we're going to help them lead them where they want to go with the things they come to us. And we're going to ask before we even start, how much do you want this? Because if even for us hypnotists and NLP and helpers of people, we can't make anybody change without some kind of leverage, and we don't really have leverage over anyway. So if you don't want to change and you come in, and we're not going to be able to make you change unless we had like some kind of leverage, which we don't. And also, the more leverage you can put against yourself. Why do you want this thing, whatever it is? If it's quit smoking or sleep better or get a get more self confidence. We want to find out what's holding them back, and then give them that extra boost to even give just positive suggestions to direct suggestion that you'll be able to do it and take those cants away and use the hypnosis for betterment. And that's what good hypnosis people do, help people get to where they want to go with what they come into. They come in with these different issues, and most of the time it's not the issue. That's why we're going to do a little bit of NLP and break it down. What do they want? Why do they want it? And do they have the resources? We're going to go a lot of times before we even do the hypnosis, so we can put some NLP with it, so it'll be a little bit stronger, so we get to what they need, what they want, and why they want it, and then it's going to be easier for us to help them get it. So and I totally don't believe uh, the voodoo thing for myself or anybody I've ever known who was a professional hypnotist. So, in all the studies I've done and all the master certificates I got, nobody is putting the voodoo in there. Let's see. So, I suggest to anyone, go study it a little bit. Get Because when you have more knowledge about hypnosis, then you'll see it's used for so many good things. You can it's used even for anesthesia. That was the other one. Like you sometimes are in hypnosis when you're so focused on something, you hit your leg and you don't even realize how hard you hit it, but later on you see a big bruise on your leg and you're going, hey, where did I get that? Yeah, so we're go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to say I put hypnosis as one of my Facebook ads, and somebody like hypnosis isn't even real. I don't know. He called me like a scam artist or something. I was like, see, the word is triggered.
Well, that's okay, you know. And well, what I say to people, if you don't know something about something, go learn something about it. I mean, you know, any AI thing can give you some information now. You just, or even Google, just Google what it is and read some. If you have some bogus belief like it's voodoo, go study it before you tell the world. I mean, you can do what you want, of course. Yet, um, I don't think it's helping anybody. And it's not helping you in your life going around. And I would say that with anything, actually, before you start judging everybody or anything. Uh, like a Byron Katie says, you point one finger at somebody, 3 points back at you when you start making judgments. And the other, like the four agreements, basically, you know, let's not assume things with people because when we assume, a lot of times it doesn't come out right. And the other is we don't have to take things personally. So we discussed this stuff so much, but it's so just, what anybody says to you, it's about them. And whatever you say back is about you. So just understand some of that right there is that when we talk to you, it's about us. Basically, we're talking and we're wanting to help you get wherever you want. And how you respond back to us is where you're at in your life. Because the only place we're at, Scott and I, right now, is where we put ourselves throughout our lives. Every decision we ever made, every movement we ever made, and every decision to come here was all our decisions. And that's where we're at now. And that's who we are as people, too. And the thing is, if you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, that's what we call insanity. So, are you doing the things you want to do? And if not, what are you going to do to change them? Because if you do the same thing, you're just stuck. And what we want you to do is get on the road and get to where you want to go, whatever that is. And uh, so I say the first thing is every morning say, what can I do better than I did yesterday? And what can I do today to make my life a better way? Whatever it is. And get up and be the best you each and every day. Because if you are the best you every day of your life, you'll never have to live in regret. Because being the best that you can do is all you got. And then if you want to be something else, you can study. I can tell you, I've studied a lot. Now, Scott and I had a discussion earlier on this week about uh, he's good in at making decision quick and it works for him and his map of the world it works and again because as soon as he makes that decision if he needs to make another decision to counteract whatever he did he's going to do it. He's right there and he just makes another decision and this is how you get further quicker. I, on the other hand, is more of a safety kind of person. So I want to make an informed decision and way too informed. So dragging your feet. So we were discussing that earlier in the week about basically what kind of person you are and how you're making your decisions. And if that's not working for you, and we always got that saying, how's that working for you? And if it's not working for you, let's do something else or go work on learn something else to get you to the next step. And hypnosis is just one of those tools. There's so many tools out there. What do you want to use to get to the next step? There's there I would say thousands of different ways you can do stuff. So figure out which one are you going to go towards. And if you're going towards just like in a boat or in a plane, sometimes you have to adjust to another thing. So what do you have to learn today to get what you want tomorrow. Um, I could say I learned a lot in the last month because I had six or eight issues I had to deal with, and they almost got a little overwhelming. And I think maybe, I'm a happiness coach too. I think maybe for, I would say a day or two, I was at a 40 happiness. And I really work on being at about 80 happiness. So, what are you doing to keep your spirits up? So find the good in life and look for the good and focus on what you're doing right, not what you're doing wrong, and go do more of that. So what? Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent too, Scott.
That's pretty
Sorry.
much all the time I got. We got another call here
Okay.
at the top of the hour.
And yeah, well, let's just say hey, and I hope you guys have a great day and are getting to your goals and getting your stuff done. And hypnosis is something to look into if you haven't.
Alrighty, guys. I will catch you on the next one.